actually, I mean, when I said start over, at that point in time, how old was I? 2008, hold on, 53 years old. Come back to the country where I had lived for so long already, and I had to start back with a mattress on the ground.
But I still didn't have much of an idea how I wanted to present the clothes, hang them up and stuff like that. Why don't I make hangers out of driftwood? I said drift lumber because I know I'm not why I'm saying driftwood and not so. Drift lumber.
Melody was 13 years old, and boy, all the boys in Norwich fell in love with her. Yes, you don't remember? We were like cracking up, we adults, you know, and she was like a queen in Norwich at that point in time.
Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mel, and I already know, say if we're here with mommy, it's another story time with mommy. Story time with mommy.
Oh. Disclaimer: the stories that I'm going to tell in this series are my experience, my truth, and my point of view over the past 38 years that I have been in Jamaica, and it's in no way intended to slander any person, the culture of Jamaica, or the island as a whole. Okay, Mel's lovelies, hi, back again with another small story. Right now we are reaching at a stage where we finally, or let me say, where I finally decided, Germany, enough is enough. I need to go back to Jamaica. It took me a bit of courage to work myself up to that point, after all the dramas and losses and not knowing really what to do in Jamaica anymore. And but eventually it was just what had to happen again. Now Yasha had been in Jamaica since the previous year. That was 2007. He went over there, and actually what will be coming now is his tale of how he built up the shop and what was happening in the beginning in Jamaica while Melody and me were still in Germany. So stage open for Yasha.
Hi everyone, it's mommy's story time again. Well, she wants me to talk about the time when I came back to Jamaica. So it was 2007. You know, we did all our stuff in Germany in terms of buying goods, clothes and stuff like that, getting it all packed for shipment, the logistics behind it and stuff. I think she talked about all that in the last story time. So anyway, she sent all those things off. Now it was time for me to get sent off, you know, for me to go back to Jamaica. So yeah, ended up reaching in Jamaica. Already kind of planned where I was gonna stay because I have a good friend in Jamaica. Well, you guys know him as Zanai. You know, he kind of grew up with us. He's like our brother. So I ended up staying at Zanai's house. That's the deal we kind of made, that I could stay there when I come over, because, you know, I'm coming over to basically nothing, nowhere to live or anything. The only prospect we had was the store that I was gonna set up now. So apart from that, you know, it wasn't anything. You know, I had to find my way. Well, my brother was there, so that was a good thing. He ended up picking me up from the airport in Kingston and, you know, got me back to Port Antonio. So, anyway, in the beginning, that's where I stayed. Stayed at Zanai's house, because Dominic, he actually built a little room on the side of the house. So, he kind of gave that room to me to stay in, while he stayed at his baby mama's house. So I got there. It was time to, you know, get everything, you know, no lingering or nothing. I got there like 2 days later, so it was down to the store, get everything organized down at the shop. You know, it was an empty shop, so I had to, you know, first of all, go there, take a good look at it. We start paint the shop. That was the first thing we did, paint up the whole entire shop. You know why? Because I think it had like a reddish color or something in there. I don't know. So, you know, we went over that, got it all white. Then I started to think about how my layout is gonna be. So I decided to build 2 changing rooms in the far right corner, in the far back. Then I had a counter in the front area where I would sit behind with my computer and stuff like that. So, you know, when somebody comes in, I can see them right away. And so, yeah, I'd do that. I had that all set up. I think we have some pictures coming too for this story time, so you'll kind of see how the shop looks. But I still didn't have much of an idea how I wanted to present the clothes, hang them up and stuff like that. So while I was there and looking at the thing, I kind of had an idea. I was like, okay, you know what, why don't I make hangers out of driftwood? I said drift lumber because I know I'm not why I'm saying driftwood enough. So drift lumber. So we got a beach and we did, you know, we got one beach where I know say that lumber always float up on the land, on the shore. So we go there and, you know, we're there walking around searching and finding some nice pieces that we could use, you know, nice piece of straight lumber that, you know, you can hang all the clothes hangers and the clothes them on. So, you know, I did that. And then what I used was, you know, you go to the Home Depot or something, you know, one of those hardware stores, and they have dog chains that I used to chain up the dogs with. So those had the right length for the structure that I wanted to build. And I used like some hose clamps that, you know, use a screwdriver and you tighten it up and it gets tighter and tighter around, you know, around objects. So that's basically what I did. That was my idea. So I went there, I put some hooks in the ceiling, I put some hooks down on the floor, and you know, just put the chains from top to bottom on each side, and then I would just put that drift lumber and screw in those clamps. And you know, I had like 2 places, and then you could hang like all your stuff on that. So I did that like at multiple places, and that's where I hung up all the clothes so that they could be displayed properly. We had, you know, shirts, dresses, we had skirts, you know, a lot of stuff for females. We also had some stuff for males, like dress clothes, like, you know, jacket and tie and stuff like that. And we had belts and a couple jeans and stuff for guys, not so much. It was mostly catering for the females. You know, they spend more money on clothes than we do. So we basically set up the shop, you know, got all the painting done. It was white and yellow, and then decided to call it Yush. You know, just Yush because, you know, I'm doing it, and that's kind of the name everybody calls me anyway. And so the day came and we opened up, and it was quite successful in the beginning time when you know, I got my stuff sold. Everybody was waiting for a new place to open and thing like that, and so I got a lot of stuff sold. It was, like I say, in the beginning it was really good, but then, you know, it just started to slow down. Was running out of stock, so Mom did her shopping thing again in Germany and sent up a pallet again, which you know how that always is when you go to the wharf and you try to get your things sorted out and get them out of the wharf. It's never easy. So nowadays you need a broker, but I found a really good broker, you know, a guy who know the people in the wharf and things. So how we actually did it was I went there, got there with the broker, got inside, find this man, give him a little chump change, man sign up 2 little paper, and I saw me get my goods them easy and easy. I mean, it was, you know, everything is like a side hustle thing going on in Jamaica. I don't know, I heard it got a lot harder to get your stuff out that way now, so I guess you're gonna pay the proper amount of money nowadays, but back then it was still a little bit easier to do that. So that's how I basically got my stuff out. In that time there, like I said, we didn't have anything yet. I just came back and we started that business. Started it and was waiting on my mom to come over because she really wanted to come back over as well, but you know, we kind of had to sort out stuff to get her to come back over too. She can't just come over like me and just freelance it and, you know, just jukes somebody place or, you know, then weird. So the first thing my brother and I actually did was look for a vehicle to buy, and we ended up finding this nice Townius bus that I think it was like a 1996 Townius. It was really nice, good function, a lot of space for everybody and everything. And well, the only thing is, you know, sometimes it had a little problem when you press the gas feet speed up really fast. So, you know, one day we decided to give it a name, and the name that we gave it was Schnecke. Schnecke meaning snail in German. So that was kind of the name that we gave that vehicle. But not saying that the vehicle's slow enough, because when we got that vehicle, they were still building Highway 2000, and they were like in the Portland area, and road was really bad. They tore up the whole road. It was like mall and dirt and stuff like that everywhere. But you think none of them taxi man they could have hold me in that the bus there? It's automatic, and me drive it like a stick. If you see me on a gear down, press up my gas, get on a little speed, gear it back up, pass all the taxi man them and anything there. Just me to drive it like say I'm standard. But anyway, so we had Schnecke for a while because we know mom was gonna come over, so we're gonna need a vehicle and stuff like that. But at the same time, the business started to, you know, slow down as well. Wasn't making as many sales as I needed. I mean, I was keeping afloat and everything. About 2 months into being in Jamaica, I didn't really wanna jukes my virgin place no more or anything like that. So I found another place in the town. A really nice place. I think it's like a guest house. They rent out cottages and stuff like that. It's called Mango Ridge. It's up on the hills overlooking Port Antonio. So I knew the owner, and he gave me a really good deal because I was going to stay there for a while. So he gave me a really good deal, and it was nice living up there for a little while. But that was just a place for me, and I knew that mom was gonna come back soon with Melody, so I was looking around to find something else, which eventually opportunity opened up in Norwich, where, you know, we lived quite a few times before, and that's where Zanai lives as well. I found a nice little house, like I think it was like a 3-bedroom house, you know, with 2 bathrooms and a kitchen and stuff like that. So that was available to rent, so I kind of, you know, said yes, let me go get that now, quick, because it's getting close to the time where mom wants to come over, and, you know, we need some space for everybody. So I got that place, moved in there, everything was fine, gave the news back to mommy. told mommy what was going on. She can come over now. We got a place where she can live. We got a vehicle. Everything is set. The business is running, not as good. But at the same time, we were thinking about going back to doing a restaurant or, you know, something like that where, you know, food is always wanted by people. Everybody's always ready to spend a little extra to get something good to eat. So we decided on doing a cafe. That's how, you know, we're thinking about it. I was talking to the because our shop was in a place called the Family Building. It was like a little mall, and they had 2 shops opening up, like getting available. And I told Mom, hey, they're getting 2 shops side by side, perfect location, they look really nice. It makes sense to change from selling clothes, which wasn't doing that good, to doing a cafe. And she was all up for that idea, because it's something that definitely always brings a revenue compared to, you know, having a clothes store and hoping somebody comes in and buys something that you actually want, you know, or that they actually want. So that was the idea. Sabina started getting other stuff ready down in Germany, you know, buying a coffee machine, stuff like that, so that we could bring it up, or she could bring it up. At the same time, you know, we lost our restaurant in Jamaica years before, so we kind of still had some of the old equipment, stoves and stuff like that. We still had them. We put them up at a friend's house, so I kind of went there to see what was left, what we could reuse and stuff like that. You know, starting to get everything ready, starting to get the other shop organized in terms of the managers of the building, telling them we're interested, we're definitely going to take those, we're going to give up the one that we're in. And yeah, I mean, a funny story that happened while I was in that shop, because that was the time when I used to see Kerry walking around in the Family Building, and you know, I was like, oh, that's a nice girl, I would like to have a talk with her one day, you know, see what's going on. But later on, after I got to know her and stuff, she told me a funny story about how, you know, I'm always standing in my store there in the clothes store, and she was walking through the Family Building with her sister, and her sister is like looking in the store, and you know, I guess she saw me there, but and I moved, and she's like, oh, Kerry, did you see that? Kerry's like, what? The mannequin moved. You know, that was kind of just a little funny thing that happened while I was there, that she told me afterwards. So anyway, yeah, that's basically the story while I was there. I mean, small things happened, nothing major. I was just so happy to be back in Jamaica. Trust me, the euphoria was immense. I mean, one night I was at a party, and I called my friend in Germany, you know, half drunk, not drunk, tipsy, telling him, you know, oh my God, I'm so happy I'm back here. And it was, you know, really cold and snowy in Germany at that time. And I don't know, I was just happy being back in Jamaica. So, more or less, that's like my part of the story. Mommy has some stuff that she's gonna say either before or after, I don't know. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it, guys. Alrighty, bye.
Okay, now this is Yosha's story, and we are still, well, we are basically in 2008 already, beginning. And as he was saying, the clothes sales were not that good any longer, and then this opening came up in the Family Building, where right beside where we were with the boutique, 2 small shops were going to were going to be empty, and we could get them to rent. And for some reason, I mean, you always fall back on your old skills, basically, huh? Not habits, but skills. Because I mean, being in the food business had really been my thing from the very beginning in Jamaica. If you remember, I opened the very first pizza shop ever in Port Antonio, and even later in the marina times, the restaurant part was really the one part that kept us going, and so it was not so hard to decide again to go back into the food and beverage business, especially as at that point in time they didn't really have pizza. There was one place in Port Antonio selling pizza, and we decided to open a cafe, because coming from Germany, in Germany cafes are very common and they are very loved. I mean, a cafe in Germany basically is a place where you go, you get your cups of coffee, tea, whatever. Mostly you can buy pastries, you can buy cakes, you can get small snacks, not full meals and stuff, and some beverages otherwise, and that's about it. And that is the cafe culture that we have in Germany, because Germans drink coffee flying. I mean, they are crazy about coffee, but not really wanting to bring over the complete thing from Germany. Of course, we would have a bigger menu, not only coffee and cake and stuff. So we decided to basically bring over the menu we had in the marina at the time, plus pizza, because in the marina we didn't really sell that much pizza. So we worked on that, and that will be another story time where Yosha will have to tell how he built, because he built the entire restaurant. I mean, that was so amazing. He just did the entire thing, but that would not be this story time. In this story time, I'm still sitting in Germany and waiting on and planning, and what do we need now for a cafe? Of course, a nice coffee machine. Now, coffee machines range from, I mean, cheap, which of course wouldn't work for a more professional approach, to all 10-15,000 euro per machine. Because what we did want to do, we wanted to offer cappuccino and latte macchiato and latte and stuff like that. So of course we needed something that could handle that. And after a lot of searching around, I found a machine that was possible for my pocket. You know, so I think that machine did cost, at the time, it cost about 500 euro. And to be forward already, that machine was excellent. I mean, that made some coffee. Up to this day, I'm missing that taste. I mean, I think I could still buy one in Germany like that. I have never ever had a machine that made coffee like that. I mean, excellent. So I got that machine. I got some other equipment. A friend of mine had closed his restaurant, so he had some other stuff like coffee cups and this and that. He would give me some. So here's Sabina, take them. I don't have use for them anymore. And so what I did, I packed another, not barrel, but like a pallet kind of thing, and put on the machine and some equipment and some dishes and some whatever we thought would be needed at that point in time, and send it to Jamaica. And so we finally, then I had of course to take care of my apartment in Germany. So you see, that is what is amazing. When you make plans and when you want to change something in your life, and things have a tendency to just drop into place. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I needed to get somebody to rent my apartment, so a Jamaican friend of mine, actually, that I knew since many years, he came by and said, oh, can I rent your apartment? Please. And that was like the solution, because he would take it as it was, with the furniture, with everything. I wouldn't have much hassle. What I would do is pack my personal stuff aside, and he would rent the apartment, and that would be taken care of. And I was like, yes, thank you, universe, you know. So I have learned that over and over, when you are doing some things, you will be astonished how other things fall into place. Easy.
Yeah.
You do not have to run after it. You do not have to do anything hard to get through with it. And I was so grateful that it worked out that way. That made my life much easier. And another friend of mine, a lady that I met on the Christmas market a few years before, and we became good friends, she agreed to look at my mailbox, and if anything was happening, she would make me know and send me the letters or send me whatever information. So all that was taken care of too, and I was like, yes, I can leave here with a good conscience, and everything is taken care of on the German side. So wonderful. So we finally boarded our airplane and just came over. That was May 2008. What happened though, just shortly before we left, I got a very sad news. There was this German who, him and me became friends over the years, of course. He was actually the only other German around our area that had been in Port Antonio longer than me. He had like 3 or 4 years more than me over there. And I got the news that he had been brutally murdered.
Was he in Germany? Or
no, he was in Jamaica.
Oh, because he didn't mention
He owned a house here, a little, actually it was like a guest house, a small hotel. And well, the story, I can't tell the story because it is up to this day the murder has not been satisfactorily punished. So I'm not going into those details, but the news that he had been really brutally killed, he ran out on the road, and the killers followed him, and they killed him on the road underneath his house. He tried to find help and stuff. It was in the middle of the night and nobody really reacted and stuff. But that made me feel away. You know, it was like, ooh, wow. You know, after all these years in Port Antonio and seeing something that, or hearing something that awful was really rough. But nonetheless, yeah. Start over number 4. Or 5, I don't even remember. Because what happened when we reached Jamaica, my 2 sons had bought a car for us, like what Yosha mentioned already, one Toyota bus called Snail. And they picked us up, and they had rented a space in Norwich. Norwich was our old territory where we used to live for years upon years and knew everybody practically over there. So that seemed to be pretty perfect. Nice little house right by the road, wonderful seaside view. And we rented 2 rooms in that house and had a kitchen and a bathroom. And actually, I mean, when I said start over, at that point in time, how old was I? 2008, hold on, 53 years old. Come back to the country where I had lived for so long already, and I had to start back with a mattress on the ground. No bed, no chair, no nothing. I didn't own anything but a mattress. Yasha had a mattress. The 2 of we slept on one mattress. We had a few little shelves and boxes that had been still in Jamaica and we could use. Nikki had another room in the same house, and it's like we literally started back from scratch. At the beginning, when we first reached Jamaica, then we still had the boutique because the other 2 shops weren't available as yet. So what we did is slowly we kind of tried to sell out as much as possible and then close down the place, waiting for the other place to get available. Now when Melody came to Norwich, Melody was 13 years old. And boy, all the boys in Norwich fell in love with her. Yes, you don't remember? I'm telling you, we reached there, and all the neighboring boys, like in her age, little bit older, they go like bling 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 bling. Who is that? Who is that? And what's going on? I mean, it was like amazing. She had the whole guys in Norwich under her thumb, you know. You did? You don't remember?
No.
You really don't remember?
No.
We were like cracking up, we adults, you know, and she was like a queen in Norwich at that point in time. So that was the funniest thing. I mean, if the boys would literally linger in front of the house and wait to see her and to be able to talk to her, you know. And we were really cracking up at that point in time. So I needed to get her enrolled in school. School for our family always had been Titchfield High School in Port Antonio. So of course that's where I went and talked to the principal, and that principal was like, whoa, but I told him, yeah, all my children have been in the school over the years and I would like to enroll her here now, and just coming back from Germany and stuff like that, and explaining. And he was like, nope, we don't have space.
Yeah, he said the classes were...
But he was not really friendly about it neither, so you did not get the impression that he would have even wanted to try it. So there was one other choice for us at that point in time, which was Port Antonio.
No, we checked out Portland High as well.
We did?
Yep.
And what happened here?
It was too religious.
Oh yeah, too religious. Okay, yeah, true. That was very religious. So we went to Port Antonio High School, which used to be known before as
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive or Compre school, because what they did do, they had some practical classes mixed with the theoretical classes. But at her time, when she would enroll, it was like a normal high school.
But it was a shift high school. So
it was a shift, two shifts.
Shifts, a morning shift and an evening shift.
So we went to the school, we entered the office of the principal, and the thing was, now what she mentioned before too already, is that she basically forgot her English in the years in Germany. She was so fixed on German that she would of course understand everything, but the speaking wasn't all that. So we went to the office of the principal, and I started to tell him the same story, and I needed to be enrolled, please. And what he did, which I kind of liked very much, he gave her a newspaper article. I said, hold it, and said, read this. So luckily she was able to read it fluently and comprehensive. So, I mean, that's what he needed to know. First of all, he wanted to know that she was fluent in speaking or understanding and reading, and that, well, her reports from Germany, of course, I did carry them as well, and they weren't bad neither. So he said, okay, let's give it a try. And so luckily I got her enrolled in that school. I was very happy to have that problem solved, and I said to myself, well, eventually if she's going up further, she has to go to Titchfield anyhow, because that was the only high school in Port Antonio where you could do your, how you call it?
A-level 6th form.
A-level. Okay.
But when I actually graduated, that school opened up A-levels and 6th form.
Yeah, well.
But I still ended up going to Titchfield.
Exactly. And so this was the next problem we saw. So we had a roof over our head with a bare mattress on the ground. We had the child enrolled in school. We had the prospect of building a cafe in the very near future. And so we just started a little bit to settle down in our old new life in Jamaica. And what happened after will be next story time.
Yes, guys, so that was pretty much us moving back to Jamaica. The only thing I can add is when we were leaving, they had like a little farewell celebration in my class at school, where everybody, you know, it was just like a little class party. So I don't remember fully what and what we did, if there was like food and drinks and stuff like that. But yeah, everybody basically had like a farewell gift for me, so they gave it to me and stuff like that.
Aww.
And you know, I had to leave most of them in Germany because there was no space to bring them. But yeah, that was pretty much how I said goodbye to everybody and, you know, hopped on to Jamaica with mommy.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in our next video. Bye.